I don't think that's gonna be fly, bro. Yo, I had to change my. I had to do the video again, man. I had to do the video again because when I recorded it, I looked at the camera and the camera was super fuzzy. I'm trying to make sure that it's not fuzzy. It wasn't. The lens wasn't cleaned off. So I gotta do this thing again. I do it again. And I was talking about communication with your friends. You know, I've learned some things in my life when I could have had different outcomes with certain situations, but I didn't. Part of that was the fact that a lot of times when we're in this new age of texting, we text folks now. Back in the days, it used to be you would call folks. So there was no misunderstanding so much when you were talking to people on the phone, but there is misunderstanding when you're texting and you're using your phone to get in contact with folks or send messages out and stuff like that. And I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of some knowledge, well, not knowledge, some wisdom behind when you have a friend or a family member and you start to see maybe there's a little bit of distance that's being created between the both of you all. And it could have been maybe after a conversation through texting, or even maybe on the phone, maybe y'all talked. And you start to see that this friend or this relative or whoever it is, they start to appear acting a little different towards you. You know, being a little distant. You start to see that you don't have the same relationship like you had before. And depending on the type of person you are, like the friend that I am, the family member that I am, I'm a person who I'm gonna be totally a loyal friend, a loyal family member. I'm gonna do everything that I can be to show my best part, to be my best part. And a lot of times I expect that from other people too, even though a lot of times people, they got a lot of shortcomings and they don't feel the same. They don't have the same type of level of commitment, but I'm that type of person. So sometimes in the past for me, I've had where I've text somebody or talk to somebody or whatever, and then all of a sudden they seem to act different. And for me, I act different and I start to shut down. One of my defaults are I'll cut folks off in a minute. It's no problem for me. I'll cut you off in a minute because I invest too much of myself in being committed to having a good relationship with whoever it is. But sometimes I found out that maybe it was just as simple as I text somebody and they never got the message. Somehow my phone, I've seen it happen in the past where it'd be the most simplest thing in the world. You text a person, you think they ignored you, didn't think your message was significant or whatever, and you cop attitude, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden, you know, if you meet up with that person, you'll be like, hey, you know, I was talking to you about such and such, or I sent you a message or whatever, and they're like, man, I didn't even get it. And it's like, oh shoot, that you were about to sit up here and blow up a relationship because that person didn't get your message. Could have been as simple as that. Or even in the message when you're texting, it's different from talking on the phone because there's no inflection in the text. Your voice normally has inflection. So you could tell whether or not somebody's being sarcastic or joking or being serious or whatever. But when you're texting, make sure that my phone is still recording. When you're texting, there's no inflection. So you really can't tell. So people can misunderstand that. And so as men, a lot of times we get in our feelings. We feel a certain type of way with folks. And, you know, we'll ruin a relationship or a friendship in a minute, you know, or we may think that the person is kind of curbing us, throwing us off to the side. Maybe they got their relationship with their young lady that they're with, they're married or something like that. We'll be ready to cut that relationship or pull away from that relationship. And it could be just something so simple that maybe there was a misunderstanding. I've had that happen several times. I have to tell y'all a story that is a story that for me was extremely hurtful. And my cat's not here no more. And that's like one of the most devastating stories, and something like that occurred. I have to tell that story, man. But you don't want to regret. You don't want to regret having conversations or communicate or talking to folks and then misunderstanding what the situation is. I had one of my boys not too long ago, my cat, and good people. Let me phrase it that way. Good people. I'm not talking about the people that are, associates, don't really matter. I'm talking about good people, good family members, good friends. You want to make sure that that's absolutely clear. One of my cats, not too long ago, I had an issue with him. And, I said some things, we were talking stuff like that. And then we cut communication for like almost a year. And this is my cat. And then I said, you know what, man? I'm not going to let this friendship just go like that, because this is my cat. I need to talk to him and let him know what I feel, what the situation is. I talked to this man, and he's like, man, I thought you were the one that didn't want me around. You didn't want to be cool with me no more. And I'm like, what the freak? So it was like, yo, for almost a whole year, we weren't connecting with each other. We always golfed together and everything. And this man thought that I didn't want this cat to be around. And I'm the one who thought that he was trying to say some stuff that he had some kind of problem, or he didn't like what I said. That simple. The most simplest thing in the world. And we could have clarified that a long time ago and been out there golfing. But nah. Knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? So don't be a knucklehead. If somebody seems to start acting a certain way towards you, you need to clarify it. Make certain that that's a problem. That they actually have a problem, whatever it is that you all had the last conversation about. Make sure that's clear. Now, if it winds up being that y'all really do have a situation, then hey, well, it's better to be safe than sorry, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you figure out what you got to do from there. But don't do the stuff of listening to people. Assuming that somebody is acting a certain way towards you because of what you think it is. Make sure you clarify. Make sure you put as much of the emphasis on making sure that that individual understands fully and clearly what your intentions were, and you understand what their intentions are. You know what I mean? Now, the next note I want to talk about just a little bit, just touch on it a little bit, because the boy's tired, man. Been doing a lot of park stuff and all that. But the one thing I want to talk about is communication with men and their interactions with women. Wow, I see some clown stuff, man. I hear some clown stuff with these knuckleheads, man. I don't understand. I don't understand how the men approach women. It's okay if you don't know how to, all right? It's okay you don't know how to. I know there's 900 million videos online of somebody showing how they got game and they got skills to be able to talk to women, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard to be able to just break the ice. Breaking the ice, just simple stuff. You don't have to say pickup lines. You don't have to talk about their physical appearances. You don't have to, say these geriatric lines of, these supposed to be joke lines of that's what she said, and saying these slimy little jokes. You ain't gotta do all that stuff with women, man. That's corny. That's absolutely corny. Women don't really respond to that. There are some women who are okay with that, but for the most part, a lot of women don't respond to that, man. That's just corny. And they hear it so much. Like, you're not the only dude who says the same dumb stuff that they hear that day. They have heard it 30, 40, 50 times. And you're like the 51st person, 41st person. They've heard it. And they hear it all week long. And all I say to you is, if you're a man who absolutely has a mom, you may have a sister, you may have aunts, you may have cousins that are women. Think about if some dude approached one of your family members while you were standing there and said one of those corny lines, or said one of those corny, things about one of their features or whatever. That would be a problem. But what really would be a problem is if you sat there and you didn't do nothing. That's even worse of a problem. I don't even know what kind of dude you are if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? If you one of them kind of cats, then you need to click off the video and go hang out there at the manosphere or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you cherish the women that are in your life, then you absolutely should return the favor and do the same for somebody else's mom that you interact with, somebody else's sister you interact with, their cousin, their aunt, because those women are somebody else's family members that they cherish. It's as simple as that, man. If you love women, and women to me are the greatest species on this earth, the greatest creation known to man, women are. Yes, we can get through all of the stuff of women being challenges, and some women aren't really the greatest caliber, and some women want to dress whatever type of part, but that's not for you to decide, or for you to have permission to sit up here and engage them in whatever kind of way you choose to. That's not you. You don't have no permission to do that. Again, if you think that, go to the manosphere. Go to the manosphere over there, man. Them cats think that all that stuff is all good and lovely. They just don't run up against cats who really are not going to let that happen. But if you truly cherish women, then you got to be simple with it, man. You got to just be endearing with women. You just introduce yourself, your name. Ask them their name, or do they mind giving out their name? And have regular little conversation. You don't have to talk about the girl's features. You ain't got to talk about, some type of cringy joke, some sexual joke. You ain't got to do all of that. Because again, women hear that stuff all the time. And so when you approach them, they're thinking you're going to be the same exact way. So they're going to be shell-shocked. They're going to be a little distant to you. They may even reject you because of the past experiences. But there's how many billion women on this planet? You shouldn't have no problem. You shouldn't have no problem understanding that there's billions of women on this planet. So you're not going to sit up here and be able to be involved or have a relationship with all that many women. You're going to get rejected. But it's a numbers game. Somebody's going to say, hey, yeah, here's my number. This is my name. Based off of your presentation, just like I talked about in the last video, you got to present yourself a little bit different. Stop doing the same thing that you see with everybody else. Women want to change from all that stuff, man. They've been doing this for decades. Treating women like objects and whatever. And women can do whatever they want to do. If they want to dress and wear all of their gear and be all tight clothes, stuff like that, that don't mean that that's got to be the woman that you talk to. You ain't got to sit up here and talk to that young lady. You could let her be. There's another young lady who's going to maybe look the way that you wish for them to look. But be endearing to these women. Compliment them on the hair looks nice. You know, maybe that's a nice smell that they have on. Little simple stuff like that. And read the room too. Because some of y'all just don't read the room. Some of the women, you can walk up to them and you know, okay, why are you trying to talk to homegirl while she's all in the gym and she's right in the middle of a workout? What the freak is that, yo? Why are you trying to talk to the woman and she's in her workout? That's clown stuff. You've got to be able to pick this time and the spot and try to isolate where you'll be able to just maybe say something, maybe try to get her attention or whatever. Yes, you may get rejected still, but you have to be able to get it to where you're in a position where the young lady is looking forward to, or she seems to be in a moment where you could possibly break the ice or say something that can get her attention. But some men just don't. They just yo, like I said, I'm gonna do videos. We're gonna talk about this stuff because some men just man, lame, corny, goofy. Like I said, I'm all right with the cats who just don't know. But the ones who think they know, they make it bad for all the rest of the men. They absolutely make it bad for all the rest of the men. But talk to the young ladies are not H's and not B words, and they're not a chick and they're not broads. When you speak to them, young ladies, mature women, a woman, misses. Just have a little bit of decency, a little bit of respect, saying those different words, different descriptions of them. It goes a long way. So, like I said, I'm tired, man. We'll definitely have future videos where we talk about the men-women dynamic. But just treat these women like you would want somebody else to treat the women in your family. If you do that, yo, the world would be a better place. It absolutely would. We got to stop all of this stuff of battling against women. To me, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But I know that a lot of these cats are malnourished. They just didn't have the nourishment, maybe from their mom. They got, jacked up situations with women, but that still doesn't allow the treatment and allow you to be whatever type of way. Not when you're supposed to be a man. Men don't do that, like I said before. So on that note, my phone is telling me that joint's about to shut down. The boy is tired, but I'm gonna catch y'all on the next note. Peace out.